Bow River Jewelry Company designs national award-winning jewelry that you will treasure for years to come. Premium craftsmanship ensures every piece is a work of art. Our designers seek to capture the intimate relationship between you and your horse. Visit our website to view our full collection. Our prompt, professional service will leave a lasting impression. Bow River, the only choice for quality equine jewelry.
The gates fly. From the beautiful Niagara Escarpment in Campbellville, Ontario, Woodbine Mohawk Park, home to the $1 million Pepsi North America Cup, a summer classic. And coming this fall, the new standard in championship racing, the Mohawk Million for 2-year-old trotters. Woodbine Mohawk Park, full fields, exotic wagers, iconic events. You gotta play here.
Today we're dropping into the stable.ca to visit trainer Anthony MacDonald, who is the 2019 Cam Fella Award recipient. I'm Jamie MacDonald with the Harness Racing Update, and come along as we check in with the 63 2-year-olds. Anthony, thanks for joining us here on Twos in Training. Taking a look at the stable.ca over the years, what is your biggest moment so far?
Well, on the racetrack, I guess it'd be a horse we had, Lawmaker, that we broke and trained down. He raced in the Hambletonian. A horse that we had brought along here, Swandre the Giant, ended up being big news last year with the sale of him. And I guess the biggest news is just the size of the stable and the people that get involved and how much fun our clients are having at the track. And that's always the biggest thing for us. So I'm always surprised how many people rely on the stable for news or just to be a part of our day-to-day operation, and that's always the biggest thing for us.
And speaking of the size of the stable, last year you had 62-year-olds that started in pari-mutuel races, and they won 56 races combined. What are your thoughts on that overall?
Well, it's nice. I mean, when you look at the people from inside the industry, they say, well, they bought the horses and they didn't win any major stake races. I don't think we ever were supposed to, though, right? We're buying horses that are affordable and allowing people to get involved at all different budgets. And to say that we had 60 horses race and 56 horses win, I mean, it's our job, right? It's nice to win races, nice to go out and win races, and hopefully someday we will win a big race. But for now, it's just nice to be able to get people out to the track and get them a picture now and again. I'm obviously very proud of that.
And those 2-year-olds are now 3-year-olds coming back this spring for 2020. Can you tell us about some of your top 3-year-olds coming back?
Well, we raced Globetrotting in the Breeders' Crown Elimination last year. She's coming back really, really good. She's an Ohio bred. We had a strong year in Ohio. Globetrotting, Compass Rose, DC, Spend That Money. Those were all really good fillies. That I believe they all won their first 2 sire stakes in Ohio. And then Spirit of Dio, who won her first stake race at the Meadowlands, trotted her last quarter in 26-4, and then ended up the year with a win at Mohawk. She's coming back good. She's in Florida with John Boutenshane. And then Knockdown Dragout also. Fast filly, had her problems last year, a little erratic. We sent her to Aki Svanstedt. He's training her down, and I suspect she's going to start around May. So those 5 we're keeping an eye on. Doug Brown has a couple for us in Florida, and then, of course, all the horses we have training back here are almost ready to go right now.
You highlight the 2-year-olds in your stable, and what is a highlight for you about purchasing 2-year-olds?
Well, we're always trying to look for value. When we go to the sale, we look for horses that people can afford, and everybody says, we should buy less horses that are more expensive. They just don't understand what we're trying to do here. We're trying to allow people in at all price points, at all budgets, and having lots of financial access points to this industry is important. So for us, we look for if a horse that I deem is hopefully worth $20,000 and we can buy it for $12 or $13, then I think that's probably a bonus on our side. And so I guess the easy answer for that is we're looking for value. We're always looking for value.
And when you're looking at a yearling in the ring, looking at the sale page, what are you looking for to connect the two on the page and in the ring?
That's a good question. We're always looking for horses with deep breeding if we can. There's a couple of fillies and colts you're going to see on the list here that have lots of pedigree in the second and third dam. Maybe the first dam's a little weak or young. Maybe it's a first-time sire. We're always looking for ways that we can hopefully get the most bang for our buck. So first-time sires is something we always look for, and then strong families also on the back end, and obviously conformational horse is important also.
And do you have any advice for anyone who might not have the financial backing that you do, that are looking for value at a yearling sale?
Well, I mean, we always try and work with some of the smaller breeders, right? We'd like them to send their horses to us, and again, bring other people involved, so that, you know, it's great for the bigger breeders of the industry to sell all their horses, and obviously the industry is always very fluid in that regard. But having a mechanism, an apparatus, if you will, where a smaller breeder that maybe feels that they're getting a little bit of a short price on their horses at the yearling sales, being able to work with them to bring their horses along is really important for us. So we're always trying to help, whether it be bringing trainers back in or helping smaller breeders with their operation. We're always looking for ways, one, to help us. Obviously, it's a big deal for us, but two, help other people from the industry. So working with smaller breeders, and obviously being open and transparent, and just being upfront with people and saying, hey, we're looking to buy some horses. Are you interested in being involved? More times than not, if you ask somebody, they'll more than likely say yes. But it's the problem with this industry is a lot of our people work really hard with the horses, but they don't really market themselves well. And I think more times than not, if you were just simply to say, hey, are you interested? A lot of people probably would say yes.
Let's get right into your current standouts for 2020 right now. The first one, Eternity Road, a gelding, a Southwind Spirit, Ohio Select sale, $10,000.
Yeah, it's always great when you spend a small amount of money for a horse that you think is a nice horse. And I don't get to go with him a whole lot. James goes with him a lot. He loves his horse, and he does got a lot of pop to him. He finishes up his miles real strong. He's a big, strong colt. So, we're hoping for some luck in Ohio. We always seem to find a way to have luck in Ohio, and I think this year, looking down the list of the horses we have eligible to Ohio, it should be another good year for us.
Royhill, another gelding. Racing Hill, this is a first-time sire, $17,000.
Yeah, so I didn't really know what to think when we looked at Royhill. I knew the pedigree because that pedigree is Mark Horner, One Enforcer, the Masters, the Mistress. All those horses come from London, Ontario. So I was a little surprised when I picked up the program page and then saw that Royhill was by Racing Hill. I didn't know. I've seen Racing Hill race, but as far as a stud, again, you never know. And I thought that the prices were a little low on the Racing Hills. We bought 3 of them, and all 3 of them are training down really well. So, again, it's March. We've only been around 230, 233 with them all, but all 3 of those Racing Hills that we have seem to have a lot of go to them.
And Grey's the New Red, a filly, Racing Hill, first-time sire once again, $12,000 at the Ohio mix sale.
Yeah, that first sale is, you don't really know what you're getting, right, when you go there, but we're going to go to all the sales we can, and this filly was put together really well, had decent breeding, and she's been really, really good since day one. She doesn't wear a boot or a pole, and she paces really well. So I guess, the only answers that remain to be, the only questions that remain to be answered are, is she good enough? Is she fast enough? And she'll do that answering for us, hopefully, in July.
Warrawee Welcome, a muscle mass filly, $41,000 out of London, OSS sired.
Yeah, that's a muscle mass filly. She's a beautiful filly, got a really, really long, rangy gait to her. She seems really durable and has been amongst our top horses and our top performers so far training for quite some time. I know Mario goes with her quite a bit, and he really likes her. And she's got a really, really nice, fluid gait to her, and it's pretty hard not to like her.
Frilly Fringes, another filly here. Southwind Frank, another first-time sire you're taking a chance on.
Yeah, like I said, when we go to the sale, we're looking for ways in, so to speak. And Southwind Frank, although they sold pretty strong in some aspects, in other places they didn't. And Frilly Fringes was a big, strong filly. If I remember correctly, a little weaker on the first stand, but stronger in the second and third, and just really well put together. And she's been really training well. We have her sister here, Harness AM, who I believe was a Father Patrick. We raced her last year, and she did rather well in the Sire Stakes in Pennsylvania. So I want to say we took a chance. We didn't really take a chance. I think she was pretty well priced, and so far so good. It looks like we got a pretty good bargain with her.
Miss Meringue, a filly from Uncle Peter, $60,000 this time from Ohio.
Yes, we don't always buy cheaper horses. I mean, this was one of the most expensive fillies out of Ohio, I believe. This is an Uncle Peter filly, young family, but second and third dam was very, very strong. Trot's nice. She does wear the trot and hobbles, but Trot's really nice, and she's a strong filly. James goes with her regularly also. I went with her a couple of times over the last few weeks, and I liked her. But she's, as I said, big, strong filly, does her work really, really well.
Another Ontario bred here, Beef and Cheddar.
Yeah, so when you look up beef and cheddar, you're not going to see a whole lot in the broodmare. Any of the 3 dams, to be honest. And the gentleman that owns this horse, Matt Chappell, had sent us his sister last year and Need Your Opinion. We trained her down. Our expectations obviously were tempered because of her breeding, but she always wanted to do her work, and she ended up pacing in 52 her first lifetime start, ended up making 30 or 40,000, I think, and was a pretty nice filly all year long. And then this was the brother by Betterthancheddar, and big, strong colt, does his work really well. Again, you never really know, right? The breeding wasn't there, but the horse is, and he really likes to do his work and does it well. So we're expecting hopefully good things from Beef and Cheddar, but we'll see. Again, it doesn't matter what anybody says right now in March. It matters what happens in June and July and after that, and we can only hope. So far, so good with him.
Your betting line colt Braemar you got for $30,000 from Lexington.
Yeah, this is a 3/4 brother to Vegas Vacation. And when we looked at him at the sale, I thought, he's a good-looking colt. He's by betting line, first crop sire again. I thought he'd maybe bring a little more money. I was happy we got him. We did have some OCDs removed from his hind ankles, but it hasn't really ever seemed to bother him. He's been training really, really well and does everything nice. Got a big, long gait on him, so who knows? But he's done everything right so far. All he doesn't wear any poles or any boots or nothing. So we can hope. I mean, he seems fast, he seems durable, but it's a long year, so we'll see.
And your Harrisburg filly for $19,000 Wonmyheart Hanover.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if every trainer does this, but you go to the sale and you look at all these horses and just some of them stick out and stick with you. And Wonmyheart Hanover was in one of the later days of Harrisburg, and I looked at her on day one. I really thought she was a good-looking filly. Again, first dam wasn't super strong, but the second and third dam, she's loaded with high-performance horses. And I was interested, and a couple of 2, maybe 3 times I went back and looked at her again, took her to the stall and looked at her again and again and again, and we ended up buying her, and she's done everything right. Last year we had some Sebastian Ks that were fast, but they were always hot and a little ornery. This filly here is just very, very polite, does her work very well, and she's been really, really training well the last 2, 3, 4, 5 training sets. She's been really, really good. So I picked her out in the sale myself. I really had an affinity for her and like what I've seen so far.
During staking season, you do have a lot of horses to kind of decide where you're going to race them. How does that decision made on your end?
It's made a number of ways. I mean, obviously, we have to work with the reality that we don't race in a lot of Grand Circuit events, so we try to pare down. And I'll be the first to admit, the first year we had the stable, everybody was excited, and I was excited, and we paid a lot of money into stake racing, and that was an aspect that we really had to look closer at, and we did again this year. I was much more frugal than last year and much more than the first year, or the 2 years ago when we started doing it a little more extensively. All of our horses are staked regionally. Obviously, my thought process is simple. If they're worth keeping around, they're worth staking to their jurisdiction. Aside from that, we take a long, hard look at maybe how fast they went last year, what types of horses were in those races last year, and then, could you see that horse being competitive in that horse? If you're trying to extrapolate data from months and months out, and we do the best job we can. We try to be frugal. We try to do what's best for the horse and what's best for the client, and sometimes we're right, sometimes we're not, but it's a tough process for sure.
Which do you like better, texting or talking?
Talking, I think. I do a lot of both, but a lot's lost in the emails and texts, so I do talk a lot.
Your favorite day of the week?
Every day. I guess my favorite day of the week is Sunday. Get to wake up easy with the kids and maybe go to breakfast. But every day is hectic, but at the same time, I love my job, so every day.
Your favorite track in the U.S.?
Ooh, that's a great question. You know what? I actually love racing at the Meadows in Scioto. I do a lot of stake racing there in the summer, and I don't get to go to the Meadowlands or anywhere that much, but I really enjoy there. There's lots of food around there, and there's always a hotel right at the track, and it's nice. So I guess 1, I don't know, but 2, definitely the Meadows in Scioto.
A nickname your parents used to call you?
Oh, my grandfather's nickname, Fiddler. My parents never called me that. A lot of people that know my parents did, but there probably a lot of nicknames for me, but none of which we're going to put on air.
Your go-to Starbucks drink?
Oh, London Fog.
Would you rather cake or pie?
Oh, that's a good question. Strawberry rhubarb pie.
Who is someone you look up to?
You know what? There's a lot of people I look up to, and unfortunately some of them aren't with us anymore. But look up to now? Geez, that's a tough question. I'll tell you somebody I always looked up to was Mike MacDonald when we were young. He was a guy that was really hard on his staff, kind of like I am, hard on his friends and his family, kind of like I am, but at the same time would do pretty much anything for anybody. And I would like to be known very similarly, so I'd say Mike.
Could you go without your phone for a day?
Sure, no problem.
How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Oh, I don't know. It's got to be 3 or 4 or something like that. I really don't know.
What is the most useless piece of trivia knowledge you know?
Wow. It would have to be something Ava told me. I don't know what it is. Something about dinosaurs or bats or narwhals or something. I really don't know. I don't know where she gets it from, but she has a lot of it. A lot of it.
Thanks for joining us here, and good luck with your 63 two-year-olds and their 2020 campaign.
Oh, thanks very much. I really appreciate it.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and trusted news source and the fastest growing publication in the game. HRU has you covered with award-winning features and commentary from some of the sport's best writers. Stellar photography, race news, results, entries, handicapping, and video replays. The industry's most comprehensive sales results, and Harness Racing's best reader feedback section. And it's all delivered free of charge to your email box multiple times each week. See why HRU is the most trusted news source of the sport's most important people from all facets of the industry. Subscribe today for free. To subscribe, just go to harnessracingupdate.com and then click subscribe for free.